What is up, Tan and J-Man Show Nation? It is Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday, not Monday. December 26th, 2023. Hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas out there. In the J-Man, Josh the J-Man Munn, the first time in about a month, is back on the pod. Welcome
Sir,
back, J-Man. You are a totally different man than the last time we saw you.
I kind of want you to call me Daddy J Man now.
Never.
So
Nope, not happening. Nope. Nope. Maybe Papa J Man, but you will never hear me say Daddy J Man on
yeah,
a podcast. Sorry.
worth a try. Worth a
It
try.
was worth a try. I had a feeling something like that was going to come out of your mouth.
hmm hmm
But
I'm more tired than usual, but surviving.
it'd be weird if you weren't.
Yeah,
It'd be weird if you weren't. But glad to hear things are going well. Glad to have you back on the show. We survived, but there was
yeah.
some
Thank,
bumpy road.
thank you. I mean, you did it all by yourself that first episode. That was
Yeah,
pretty dang impressive.
probably won't do that again, at least for a long time.
It was bad timing because Purdue was playing at the same time. And I'm sure a lot of your contacts were either watching the game or at the game. So,
Correct, because they're playing
uh,
Iowa, and if
yeah,
it
it was
was
a Big
like
Ten opener.
Jacksonville, I would have asked, but I'm like, I'm not gonna bother anybody. So,
Yeah,
but
I
it
don't
was all
blame you.
good. I kind of wanted to take on the challenge by myself and got through it. Thanks to the Tan J Man Show Nation though for sending in questions and other things that helped out a bunch. But we got through it. Then thanks to my dad for filling in the last 2
Biggie.
weeks. So
Yeah.
So yeah, but glad to have you back, my friend. And you have wrapped up the Birdie or Bogey Championship, I guess, for the year. You had a 3-stroke lead, and I just gave you the crown. We didn't keep track the last couple of weeks. So.
That's all right. I do have a birdie bogey question for you, so maybe a little bit of redemption here at the end of the year. Mike Evans became the 5th player ever to have 5 seasons of 12 receiving touchdowns or more. Can you name the other 4 guys to have done this? 5 seasons, 12 touchdown receptions or more in a career. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, every year he's had over 1,000 yards, and of course, 5 of those seasons he has 12 touchdowns. So I would think he's pretty. I wouldn't call him underrated, but because of who he plays for, maybe he doesn't get the acclaim other guys do. That dude's a first ballot Hall of Famer, easily.
Yes.
So,
Yes, I
but
agree.
Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Arlington Public House. Arlington Public House is upscale cuisine and cocktails with a casual atmosphere located 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana. They were obviously closed. They are closed for the holidays. They will be closed December 24th through January 7th. So you will have to check back January 8th for their delicious specials. But they did have prime rib on Saturday night, their last open night of the year, and it looked fantastic. So
Yeah, like I said last week, I think even towards the end of before they were closed, they were having a lot of private events. So that's another thing they can do with their space there in Arlington Public House. You can have private events. So definitely worth your while to check them out for an event, or if you haven't been there for dinner, certainly do that. You can't go wrong with anything on their menu.
yes, sir. I'm sure they had quite a few Christmas parties there the past couple weeks or so.
Yeah, I saw a few on Facebook from some different businesses. So the good place to have it for sure,
Absolutely.
for sure. So, yeah. Well, with that said, you want to get educated?
I actually have it pulled up. Do you want to get educated?
Sure. I like learning things from time to time.
On this day in 1919, the Yankees and Boston Red Sox reached an agreement to move future Baseball Hall of Famer pitching /slugger Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees. Bad day in Red Sox land for sure.
Yeah, curse hung over them for a long time.
Long time.
They've since broke it and done just fine for themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, as we said, it took them a while to do it, but now they've won what four titles in 20 years.
Yeah.
They're doing all right.
Yep. Have they made a World Series and lost? Did they lose one?
Besides 86.
Yeah, I meant since the curse was broken. Have we seen them make one and lose one, or have they won every World Series they've been in?
They've won every one. They beat Cardinals, Rockies, Cardinals, Dodgers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think they've lost one since they're 4-0 this century.
Interesting.
Yeah. On this day in 1934, the Yomiuri Giants were Japan's first ever professional baseball team. They formed then, I should say.
Yeah, that's one of the more popular ones, or at least more
Mhm.
well-known
One that
ones
we've heard
in
of.
the
Yeah.
history. Yeah, in the history of Japanese baseball.
On this day in 1943, who won the NFL championship? National Football League.
43.
Yeah.
How about the Detroit Lions?
Good guess. Same division. It was played
Bears.
at Wrigley Field, where the Chicago Bears beat the Washington Redskins. On this day in 1954, who won the NFL championship?
54. 54. Let's go with the Packers.
Cleveland Browns thrashed. That's a good. That is a good verb.
Yeah,
Verb.
it's an action.
Yeah. The Detroit Lions 56-10. Browns place kicker Lou Groza makes 8 extra points.
Now he's the best kicker in college football every year. Gets that award named after him.
Who won on this day in 1960 the NFL championship? It was not the Super Bowl, obviously.
1960. I'm gonna go with Packers again.
Green Bay Packers lost.
Lombardi days.
Lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. It was the lone playoff defeat for Packers coach Vince Lombardi before the Packers established their dynasty. Who won the AFL championship on this day in 1964? It was between two teams who have never won a Super Bowl.
Let's go with the Chargers.
The Bills beat the Chargers.
All right.
I guess so. Let's see here in the 70s now. On this day in some AFC championships, some NFC championships, some cricket.
Yeah, last week there was tons of cricket. I'm like, I probably need to. Maybe I need to learn cricket in 2024 just for the on this day, but I'm not going to.
1991, future Pro Football Hall of Fame coach Chuck Noll retired as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was head coach from 1969 to 1991.
They've only had 3 coaches in 69.
Yeah, it's only 22 years, but that spanned 4 decades essentially. Yeah. He coached in 4 decades, I should say.
But it's just crazy the Steelers. I mean, there's no who. I wonder what for other professional franchises closest as far as fewest coaches since 1969.
Dolphins have had 4 coaches since 2016. They've had 5 coaches since 2015, I should say.
Broncos are right there too.
Yeah. They change. Coaches change so much, and I mean that's just a good culture they have there, where they just keep winning regardless of who the coach is. So obviously doing something right.
Yep.
That's gonna do it. There is nothing really after 1991. So
that was still a longer list than last week. Last week was the shortest list in the history of the podcast. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, but
the epitome of brutality, one would say.
Okay, John. But the On This Day segment is brought to you by Like It has been every episode of the Tan and J Man Show through 2023, and that's Mooney Woodcrafts. Mooney Woodcrafts is a veteran-owned and operated woodcraft shop based out of Texas with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs that fit your needs, and their pieces are a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. You can see some of their recently completed projects by visiting them on Instagram and on Facebook at Mooney Woodcrafts is the handle on those 2 social media platforms. And if you let them know that Tan and J-Man Show sent you, you get 15% off your first sign order. So, of course, the holidays or Christmas is over, I should say, so you can't get a sign for Christmas, but you can get a sign in the year 2024. Thad does great work on wooden signs. It doesn't have to be just sports signs, even though the sports signs make a great gift for the sports fan in your life, whether it be a family member or a friend. But he also can make family signs, military signs, things of that nature. So make sure to order a sign in 2024 from Mooney Woodcrafts. If you haven't already, 15% off if you let them know Tan and J-Man Show sent you.
Sir.
Well, you want to talk, before we talk NFL, because we have a lot of NFL to talk about, this is our last episode of 2023.
It is.
So we need to do a little year in review, I think. When you think back in the world of 2023, for sports, sporting world, I guess. What's going to be your takeaway? Your big takeaway?
It might be recency bias, but the first thing that pops into my mind is Shohei Ohtani. $700 million man, LA Dodgers, and all of that money, a majority of that money, $680 million of that $700 million is deferred until after that contract is up. So he's getting paid $2 million a year over the next 10 years, which helps the Dodgers go out and get this other Japanese pitcher whose name is escaping me, Yamamoto. Give him $300 million. So that's the first thing that popped in my mind was Shohei Ohtani. You knew the bidding was going to get absurd, and Dodgers just came in and blew everyone away. Didn't want to move, which I don't blame them. But $700 million in LA is like, it's less than like $500 million in Chicago, believe it or not, with cost of living and all that. But I'm not bitter, as you can tell. But my bitterness is coming out because the Cubs haven't done a single dang thing.
Yeah, it seems like the last few years you can bookmark the J-Man's tweets. They're pretty similar the last couple of years, so we're waiting.
Last year they actually did something, but good Lord, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, Shohei is the thing that I would think about.
I think mine is kind of two things. It's the ongoing drama between Live Golf and PGA Tour, which I interviewed ex PGA Tour player Chris Smith, friend of the podcast, last week. Check out that interview if you haven't already. It's on our YouTube channel and wherever you listen to our podcast at. We talked about that in length and got his thoughts on that, which was pretty cool to talk to somebody that's kind of a lot more inside the ropes, so to speak, than I am. So that's been interesting, especially with the John Rahm stuff that just went down within the past month. Getting the number 2 player in the world to go to Live for $400 million kind of shakes up the golf world a little bit. And then also, I just think it impacts all college sports, just the ever-growing impact of the name, image, and likeness / transfer portal.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep thinking it's going to even itself out a little bit, but I think it's going to take a lot longer.
Keeps getting worse, in my opinion.
And I don't think it's as much as the NIL as it is the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the transfer portal wasn't a thing and you still had to sit out 1 year if you're going to transfer, we wouldn't see a lot of these big money deals going on, or this who's going to pay me the most money for, instead of, who's going to give me the best opportunity, so to speak. So, I mean, it's and of course, maybe it's recency bias, and I'm frustrated because my Purdue Boilermakers lost their best defensive player today, or one of 2 maybe best defensive players, Nick Scorton, who was tied for the Big Ten in sacks this year. And what's frustrating about it is, I mean, the coaches went down and visited his family and everything in Texas right after season, make sure everything was good. He was lined up for a pretty significant 6-figure deal through NIL through Purdue, so everything was good there. And he was even helping him recruit and tweeting things a week and a half ago. And then all of a sudden, something changed ever since he's been home. Well, it's bound to be seen where he's going to end up, but obviously some big boy came calling, which with they think at least 500,000, if not more. So, I mean, money talks.
And honestly, if you're at the college level, you don't want a guy like that on your team anyway. That's what I say about it.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. You and I have been college sports fans our whole life, and we've loved college football and college basketball. It's just frustrating. I'm almost at a point where, all right, give me the roster in August for college football, and I will learn the guys' names, and I'm going to always cheer for my school. That's about the best you can. I think realistically, there's 133 Division I football programs, right? I would say 113-ish, maybe 128, 20 to 25 excluding, are about in the same boat right now. And then those others are the contenders.
I agree.
It just eats at me. It's coming down to who has the most money.
Yeah.
Not who has the best coaches, who even has the best facilities. It's who has the most backers money-wise.
They don't even care about playing time at this point.
No.
Some of these guys do.
No, it's like I can make $1 million. I can be set for years, and even if I don't make the pros.
Yeah. How many years were we sitting here talking about Kentucky basketball? Like, man, I'd hate to have all these one and dones. You don't get to know the players, all that. That's pretty much what everyone's doing now anyway.
Yep. And the people that say, "Oh, it's just going to impact football," Well, football impacts your basketball program, whether you
Yeah.
like it or not. You can have the best basketball team in the nation. You can be Duke or Indiana, a pretty much basketball only school, or Kansas. Your football program still helps out the basketball program because that's where your majority of your money for your athletic program comes in from. So I don't like the way um, college sports, especially college football, is going. I don't know. I don't know what the
I
answer is.
and we're both on board with yes, players should be able to make money off their
Yeah.
name, image, likeness,
Yes.
all that. As far as the transfer portal goes, they probably should be allowed to not have to sit out a year. However, I think the NCAA, which the NCAA is the dumbest organization, most corrupt, you name it, could do is shorten that transfer portal window because some of these guys are jumping at the last possible second.
Yes.
Because the window's open for what 2 months or something like
Yeah.
that. Shorten it to 2 weeks. See
Yep.
what happens. See what happens then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they want to transfer after that, then you got to sit out of here.
Yeah, because Scorton, I mean, today he jumped in day 22. I mean, I thought Purdue's kind of out of the woods at
Yeah.
least still. And now you'll see a lot of people for all programs jump after spring ball's over. Saw that last year, which that's kind of fair, I guess. They think,
Sure.
maybe I can
Which makes sense.
win a position battle. And if
Yeah.
I can't, then writing's on the wall. I got to get out. It's just, man, if you don't really love this profession, I don't know why you're a college football coach nowadays because you got to find a way to come out of the portal better than before, and it's just wild. I'm thankful Purdue has a young coach that probably has the energy to keep up with it. Where, as I say, if they had a coach in his 60s, probably too tired to deal with this stuff. So,
yeah, and I mean, you can say, well, Nick Saban's old and all that. He's at Alabama. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to do a single thing.
Doesn't have to do nothing. They got
gotta
boosters.
there,
The name recruits itself.
Yeah, we wonder why a coach like Jay Wright wanted to get out when he was still in his prime of coaching. Makes sense. So.
Yep. And we don't see it drastically as much in basketball that you do football, but basketball you still see a lot. I'd say basketball you see bigger names. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean Hunter Dickinson. Yeah, Hunter Dickinson.
I mean football we saw Ohio State's quarterback. We saw Dylan Gabriel go from Oklahoma to Oregon. I mean, you see some decently big one. Riley Leonard go from Duke to Notre Dame, but not like Hunter is one of the faces of college basketball. So
yeah. I agree with that. You see the bigger name in college basketball than you do in football for whatever reason. Because I mean, usually if you're a really big name in college football, you're on a really good team anyway, and you're getting paid a lot of money anyway. So yeah,
correct. Who's your team of 2023?
My team of 2023. Man, that's a tough one.
Can you even list me the champions real quick in the big sports?
The Chiefs, they look like complete garbage past 6 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't name them.
They just need to shake it off. That's all they got to do.
Yeah. We got who won college basketball?
UConn over San Diego State.
Might have to take UConn. Yeah, over San Diego. That's right. Couldn't name you a single major winner. Georgia won college football playoff.
The major winners were John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, Brian Harmon, and oh my gosh, the guy beat Ricky on Sunday. Yeah, it'll come back to me, but yeah. U.S. Open, blanking.
I'm sitting here right now. I can't remember who played in the World Series. Diamondbacks lost to the Texas Rangers. I'm gonna go with the Texas Rangers. They went out there, spent a ton of money past couple years, and it worked. So Tommy boy, open those pocketbooks up and go sign some guys.
I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets winning their first ever NBA championship, making their first ever NBA championship and winning it over the Miami Heat, and they beat teams like the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers to get there. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Nuggets. And hockey was the only one. I think the Las Vegas Golden Knights won. I think the Golden Knights won hockey, but that was the only one I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I think the Golden Knights won. I think they
could not tell you.
I think they did. But
who's your player of the year?
Ooh, that's a good one. The Golden Knights did win last year. Okay. Or this year.
Yeah.
Player of the year. Trying to think. Shohei Ohtani's hard not to say player of the year, even though he got injured.
Yeah.
I'll go with him.
I'm saying the Kelsey brothers. Those dudes, especially Jason, because people knew who Travis was, but Jason got this new level of fame that we've never seen from an offensive lineman ever, mainly because of his brother. Although Jason is a Hall of Fame center,
Yes.
but again, you don't know names of offensive linemen very well. But the Kelsey brothers for sure, and then the Taylor Swift stuff kind of put them significantly further ahead than what they were.
Yeah, they have a podcast that just exploded. We're still waiting for the Tan and J Man show to do that one of these days. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
We're both married, so we're not gonna start dating pop stars. So
that's true. That's true. I don't think we ever had a chance, J Man, but I appreciate your.
No, that's a good point.
Well, I have our 23 bold predictions for 2023, and to look back on it next week. We got to start our 24 bold prediction for 2024. So we'll do 8 next week, 8 the following week, 8 the following week. So here are your bold predictions. Are you ready to see these?
Oh no!
Like your test scores back in the day, a lot of red.
Oh man, I only got one, huh?
You got
That's
one.
bad.
No Big Ten teams will get past the Sweet 16 was your correct one. Some of your wrong ones. Roy McIlroy will win the Masters. Illinois will win the Big Ten West.
Put that on there already.
Ryan Day will be fired after losing to Michigan for a third straight season. You got the losing part right. Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers will be a Miami Dolphin in 2023. Live Golf would fold due to money issues. NFL will finally hire full-time officials. I hope that comes correct one of these days. Said Cubs would make the playoffs. They were close.
Man, did they choke though?
Sean McVay would be on TV during the season, and the Rams are in playoff contention right now. You had the Bengals winning the Super Bowl last year. Calipari's last season at Kentucky. It didn't come true. This is one that's got to irk you. Florida State will win the ACC and make the college football playoff.
Yeah, I'm putting an asterisk next to that one.
That's fair. That's fair. Juwan Howard will leave Michigan to coach in the NBA.
I don't know if an NBA team would want him at this point.
There will be a scandal in one of the 3 major sports that leads to a significant suspension. Expansion plans are announced in either the NBA or MLB. Notre Dame will join the ACC for football. There will be a first-time MVP winner in both the AL and NL. You were halfway right there.
I was.
Michigan State would miss the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1997. I wish you were right there. The Big Ten will retain all of its men's basketball coaches. You were close, but Michael Shrewsbury left Penn State for Notre Dame. Sean Payton would return to Fox. The Bears will not trade their number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. The Boston Celtics will win the NBA championship for the first time since 2008. And Deion Sanders will severely break a recruiting rule and be forced to resign.
Still waiting on that. We got a few more days on the Deion one. Who knows?
That's true. That is true. And here are my bold predictions for 2023. A lot of red, not quite as much, but a lot of red on mine. The ones I got right, I said Tom Brady would retire after the playoffs. Said Bryce Young to be first quarterback drafted in the 2023 NFL draft. Colts would draft the quarterback with their top 5 pick. 2 non-power 6 conference teams would make the Final Four.
That was a good one.
Ricky Fowler would win a golf tournament in 2023. He finally got that one right.
When did that happen?
He won in Detroit at the Rocket Mortgage Classic this year.
Okay.
Denver Nuggets would win the Western Conference, and they went on to win the NBA. Maybe my biggest poll, Joseph Newgarden would win the Indy 500, and he did. And the XFL would last more than one season, as it is coming back. So, ones I missed, State of Indiana will have at least 3 teams make the NCAA tournament. They only had 2. Jim Harbaugh will be coaching the NFL in 2023. He went back to Michigan and then got suspended multiple times. The Masters will be won by somebody from Live Golf. Interesting now. It wasn't at the time. It was won by John Rahm, but now he is part of Live Golf. The Colorado Avalanche will repeat as Stanley Cup champions. They got knocked out of the playoffs by the Dallas Stars. Oh no, by the Seattle Kraken. Excuse me. I also thought this would be Calipari's last season at Kentucky. It was not. I thought Caleb Williams would repeat as Heisman Trophy winner. He did not. I thought Aaron Rodgers would retire. He instead went to the Jets, then blew his Achilles out 5 minutes into his career with the Jets. Derek Carr, I thought would be a Washington Commander. He went to the Saints, hasn't done a whole lot.
Stinks.
I thought Aaron Judge would hit at least 55 home runs. I was not even close on that.
He would have had he not gotten hurt.
He got injured.
No.
I thought the Pacers would advance in the NBA playoffs. They didn't even make the playoffs. I thought Georgia would make the college football playoff for the third straight year, but they lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game. I thought the Joker would win the NBA MVP for the third straight season, but they gave it to Joel Embiid instead. I thought Penn State would win the Big Ten East, but they still can't win the big one over Michigan or Ohio State.
Never happened for them.
Thought Purdue would make the Final Four, and they did the exact opposite and got bounced by a 16 seed. And I thought the NBA would announce the return of the Seattle Supersonics, but you can already book that for my bowl predictions for 2024. So
nice.
Yeah, kind of fun to look back on those, but
we'll
see what.
I'm embarrassed. Thanks for thanks for
well,
dragging that up.
I updated it today, and I was like, "There's no way he only got one right." Dang, because I checked it a few months ago, and I'm like, "All right, he's got to get a couple more right." Because I'm like Florida State's getting in.
Yeah, the NCAA really screwed me over there.
Yes, they did. Or the college football playoff committee.
Yeah.
So, but we will see what our 24 bowl predictions for 2024 has in store starting next week. But are you ready for the word association segment?
Let's do it.
And of course, I closed my tabs. Now I gotta get it back up here. And since the year's winding down, I mean, this is our last show of 2023. I thought I'd pull up a list of the Sports Illustrated Sportsmen of the Year.
Ooh,
and just pick some at random over the years. Let's go back in 1957 with Stan Musial.
Stan the man, one of the best lefty hitters of all time. St. Louis Cardinal, unfortunately, but yeah.
1961, Jerry Lucas won it for being a Final Four MVP.
Ohio State?
Ohio State, yep.
Ohio State, that's right. Good NBAer, too.
Yes, he was. 1968, Bill Russell.
Bill just passed away. Was it this past year? Was it this year or last year?
Yeah, I think it was last year. But I'm gonna look it up.
Won a ton of titles.
It was July 31st, 2022.
Okay, greatest defensive players of all time. They have won an incredible amount of titles.
Yeah, he won this award for being the NBA champion player coach.
And he did that. Yeah.
This is HC1, 1975, Pete Rose.
Oh, man. I wonder if he was betting on games back then.
He was a World Series MVP that year. So.
Yeah, the big red machine. He could hit. Sleazeball, but he could hit.
The 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes.
Al Michaels. Al Michaels has called some big ones, hasn't he?
And now he doesn't call any good games. Wow. 1987, there was like 10 of them. We'll skip that year. Let's go with, how about 1992, Arthur Ashe?
One of the was he a tennis player or Olympian?
Yes, tennis player.
One of the greatest ever.
Yep. And he has quite the arena named after Arthur Ashe Stadium. I should say, not arena. I think it's in Queens. So it's where the U.S. Open is played for tennis every year. 1995, Cal Ripken Jr.
Must have been the year they stopped his streak, or he got the streak anyway.
Consecutive games record.
Consecutive game streak. The guy who actually started over him in that game to break the streak just passed away this past week. Forget his name, Ryan Moore, maybe. Yeah.
Interesting. 1996, Tiger Woods. He won it for being an NCAA champion and U.S. amateur. Of course, it wasn't his last time he'd win this award.
Yeah. You think his son's going to be as good?
No.
Can't imagine anyone would be as good. But
I think Charlie will be good. But those are about the biggest shoes to fill.
Yeah.
He's a very confident young man for a guy, a freshman in high school. He's very confident, but he's got the skills to back it up so far.
Yeah.
Let's go 2001. You got a pair of pitchers, Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson, for being World Series co-MVPs.
Yeah.
And Randy also won the Cy Young.
Yeah, man, that Diamondbacks 1-2 punch was pretty dang good that year. 2001. I'm surprised it wasn't Ichiro, honestly. It was his first year over here. But
2006, Dwayne Wade
won the title that year, didn't he? Against Dallas?
And Finals MVP. Yep.
And Finals MVP, yeah, did it with Shaq. Dwayne Wade, really? That's surprising.
This one surprised me, honestly.
Give me the year and I'll try to guess now that we're
2009. Yeah, I like that. 2009.
2009. Tom Brady.
Derek Jeter.
Really?
Yankees won it that year.
Oh, that makes sense.
But I mean, that just surprised me even to pick him. I mean, he wasn't near the best player on that team, but
no.
How about 2010?
2010. What sport?
Football.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. Yeah. Correct. All right. How about 2012 NBA?
2012 NBA. That's LeBron, right?
Yeah, for MVP, Finals MVP, champion, and Olympic gold medalist. 2013 football.
13 NFL football. Joe Flacco.
It's Peyton Manning. Because 5-time NFL MVP,
yeah.
single season touchdown record, AFC champion. Got murdered by the Seahawks.
Should have been Jacoby Jones or.
That was the year before, you jerk. 2014 MLB.
2014 Mike Trout.
Madison Bumgarner.
Oh, that's right. He had that
World
unbelievable
champion, NLCS MVP, and World Series MVP.
Unbelievable run in the playoffs.
Here we go. 2017, he had two of them. One baseball, one NFL.
2017 for baseball. I have no idea.
Jose Altuve for baseball. He's MVP, World Series champion, and led to Astros' first ever title and City's first major championships in '95. J.J. Watt for football for raising more than $37 million in relief for the city of Houston after Hurricane Harvey.
That's right.
And we'll go three more here. 2021 NFL.
21 NFL, Pat Mahomes.
He was in 2020. 21 it was Tom Brady.
Won Super Bowl.
Second time he won the award. 2022 NBA.
22 NBA. Steph Curry.
Finals MVP, led Warriors to the fourth title in 8 years. And this year, I'm not even giving you the sport. This year, who won it this year?
It's got to be Shohei, right? It should be.
Deion Sanders.
That's right. I knew that. I saw that. That really takes me off,
baby.
4-8
gets you.
Have 6 committed high school recruits, which is like dead last in college football. But yeah,
he will be on. Spoiler alert. I don't know if it's next week, but he will be on my bowl predictions for 2024. One of them will include Deion Sanders because what I want to say was going to give that away. So I will wait for that.
Alrighty.
So, yeah. But that is the word association segment, which is brought to you by like it was every week in 2023, and you can expect it to be every week in 2024. Performa Print 2 promo group. If you're looking for an efficient, trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Performa Print 2 promo group has over 50 years of combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815. You can also reach her via email at barbara.vanweinsberg@proforma.com. All right, J-Man, let's talk some National Football League. 3 winners, 3 losers. You start us off, my friend, in the winners category.
Baltimore Ravens.
They're pretty good.
That was awfully impressive. Forced Brock Purdy into 4 interceptions. I believe Sam
My
Darnold even
fantasy
had another.
team thanks you, Brock. I'm done for the year now. So thank you.
Man, Lamar's probably the odds-on favorite to win MVP. Defense looked ridiculous. Offense looks great. That was awfully impressive, and I'm going to crown them the best team in football.
There it is. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
For reasons that we've talked about. But yeah,
perfect timing too.
Uh-huh.
But I'm picking the team that plays the best team of football this week, the Miami Dolphins. Big time win over Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys have now lost back-to-back big time games against the Bills and the Dolphins. Dolphins look good doing so, though. Tua looked good on that last drive. He made his money's worth there on that last drive. Jason Sanders, heck of a day. I know you give him a lot of flack, but heck of a day hitting five field goals.
He's had a good stretch here.
5 field goals. Jalen Waddle, I saw a sprained ankle there. I think afraid he might be done for the next 2 weeks, but get him rested for the playoffs.
They needed to prove it to me and themselves that they could beat a good team, because that's all we've heard about all year is they've beaten nobody. Right. And they were able to do it. The Dolphins set the franchise record for sacks in a season with 52. Bradley Chubb has 11. He's been awesome, so thank you for that trade.
You're welcome.
And Vic Fangio completely turned the defense around getting Jalen Ramsey back.
Kind of welcome for that too, even though he said, "Oh, we fired him." So.
Yeah, so thank you for that as well.
Who do you want next, Josh?
Let's see. Xavion's getting old, so maybe a little PS2 action or.
The sad thing. Most of Broncos country would have probably traded him Sunday night. Not me, but most idiots on Twitter probably would have traded him Sunday night. Idiots.
Let's see who else you got there on that team. No one really else sparks my fancy.
Who's your second winner?
Second winner, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are taking control of that NFC South, and Baker Mayfield, 26 touchdowns, 8 picks, looked awesome past couple.
He's got to be a buck going forward, right? They got to roll with him, right?
Yeah, they have to. I mean,
looks like they're having fun.
It does. As I said, Mike Evans, another fantastic year. Defense is playing well. They could be a team that wins a game in the playoffs, especially since they'll likely host.
Yep. My number 2 winner, Detroit Lions, winning a division title for the first time since 1993. Good for them. I did not realize that. I knew they had only made the playoffs a couple times, but I thought one of those years they won the North. But I guess when Aaron Rodgers has run the division for so long and the Vikings have had good teams and the Bears here and there, I guess that happens. But, I mean, if a few things go the Lions' way, they could get the bye and be the number 1 team in the NFC. Yeah. And I'll tell you, besides Miami, they might be the second most explosive offense in the NFL. They are fast.
They can put up points, yeah. Armand St. Brown's fantastic. Jameer Gibbs has really come on for them as well.
Jared Goff, man,
playing good football.
They're fun to watch.
My third winner. There are 3 teams alive for the number 1 seed in the AFC: the Baltimore Ravens, the Miami Dolphins, and the Cleveland Browns are still alive for that 1 seed. They needed the Dolphins to lose and Ravens lose over the weekend, but neither happened. But Browns have the Jets this week. If the Dolphins can win in Baltimore, I believe Cleveland and Baltimore plays week 18. The Dolphins play the Bills, so it's conceivable. It's conceivable the Browns can get it. Joe Flacco playing some really good football coming off the streets.
Yeah, and Kevin Stefanski, man, he should get NFL Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
they come out every week more beat up than they entered, and they just find ways to win games. They just put a pounding on Houston, and I know that was Houston without C.J. Stroud. They're not the same team without him, but still at Houston, and just went in there and whooped them, take care of business. And what a world! The Browns and the Lions are going to make the playoffs the same year.
Browns are the most surprising team in the NFL, in my opinion. They have we both thought they were going to be complete garbage, 4 or 5 win team, and here they are, 10 wins already.
Yeah, they and they looked like complete garbage at times this year. But
yeah,
I do you think they would be this good and in this position if Deshaun Watson was still their quarterback?
Honestly, no. I think they looked worse with Deshaun. Obviously, having Flacco come in and throw for 330 yards a game like he's done is pretty incredible. But winning with defense as well, Myles Garrett might be the best player in the NFL, and they keep winning. It's surprising, and without Nick Chubb too. People aren't even talking about that. He got hurt week 2.
Yep.
So,
That's a good point. That's a good point. My last winner. There's a lot of teams I can choose from. Um, I can't pick the Raiders. I've already picked them as a winner before, but I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers in a
yeah.
must-win game against the division rival Cincinnati Bengals. They beat them 34-11 on Saturday, and Mason Rudolph, third
He's the
string
best
quarterback,
quarterback.
comes in and looked better than Pickett, looked better than Trubisky. To where Tomlin, even though Pickett's ready to go, Tomlin said Rudolph's our guy this week.
No,
So
Pickett's going to be stocking shelves at some place next year. That's how bad he is at the quarterback spot.
he's still better than Trubisky, but yeah, good for the Steelers. They're still right in the hunt to get a wild card spot. I think a few things have to break their way, but they're not out of it.
Yeah.
So, well, starting with losers. Am I starting with losers?
Yes.
Well, this one's not hard to figure out. The team right behind me and all over this room, the Denver Broncos, devastating loss. I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it Sunday night. I mean, I would have rather them just got throttled. I'd rather have been 23-7 or just get killed 40-7 or whatever. I mean, Marvin Mims fumbles that kickoff return and Patriots scored to go up 23-7. My hat goes flying across the room. I'm as furious as I've been all year. Then starting fourth quarter, I'm like, it can happen. No offense, Josh. In my head, I'm thinking Titans made it happen late against the Dolphins.
Yeah. Dolphins would have clinched the division had they closed that thing out.
Broncos have whole quarter. It can happen. Did I think it was going to happen? No, but they fight back. Their offense actually starts clicking for the first time all game when they're doing some hurry up. They score, go for two, get it, get the ball back, score, go for two, get it, force a three now, get the ball back. Horrible punt. You get at the 40-yard line. All right, just get in field goal range. You win this game. Then I don't know if it was the play calling. I don't know if it was the execution, but it was god awful. Screen pass, that was horrible. Then you run off right guard. Don't know why you're running on second down in that position. Then third down, the play breaks down. Russell has to scramble and throw one up. And then your defense, you punt the ball to Bailey Zappa. You go, okay, you got to go win the game for your team. New England's trying to get into overtime. They run the ball. Peyton calls timeout. Run the ball again. Peyton calls timeout, which, to be fair, I'm still not real upset about that because I thought they were going to make him go 3 and out and get the ball back. Then Bailey Zappi completes a well-thrown ball to Devontae Parker, a great catch over PS2, and then they complete another one, and then their kicker, who can't make anything all year, nails a 56-game winner right down Broadway. So horrible loss to a horrible football team that was 3-11. They're not mathematically out of it, but their percentage is like 4. They have to win out. Actually, their best route, which didn't got to happen, would be to win the next 2. Chiefs lose the next 2. Broncos win the division.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Via tiebreakers, they would win the division. It won't happen, but maybe Mahomes breaks his leg.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing that.
Yeah. I was thinking Broncos were going to win or make the playoffs. I mean, looking at their schedule, I thought it would honestly come down to that final week.
I thought I was going to be rooting for Miami big time on that Sunday night game Sunday game against Bill.
The thing is, they had everything go their way too. Colts lost, Texans lost, Bengals lost, Bills won, but
Bills should have lost.
But
it's just a choke job, and man, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm like, they can still win 2 games, not make the playoffs, but be 9-8, be their first winning record since 2016. They'd be 4-2 against the division, maybe make some signs of progress. But man, I don't know. There's a lot of chatter if Russell Wilson will be back next year or not. It's getting louder and louder.
Yeah, he doesn't seem very well liked.
I don't even know if it's exactly that. I think he and Sean Payton wants to do, it's oil and water. But, and I posted this on my X today, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I said, okay, Broncos country, if you don't bring back Russell Wilson, what do you do? Because I looked at the list of veteran corps. You're not getting any of those guys. They're awful. All the free agents for veterans in 2024. You're gonna have to draft somebody, and that's throwing find a needle in a haystack sometimes. So
you'll be picking in the middle of the first round unless you trade all the way up with the
right
Bears.
Now they're in 14. I mean, I guess you could trade up and try to get the top 10. Like Josh Allen went 7th when the Bills traded up. Patrick Mahomes went 10th if you can trade up there, but still you're going to give up a lot of capital. So I don't know, but if he's a member of the Broncos by March 15th, I believe, his guaranteed money is guaranteed for 2024 and 2025. That's
Yeah.
the big thing. If they cut loose with them before then, they eat the $37 million for 2024, but they're not on the books for 2025. So
Yeah. Yeah, there've been
I don't
some
know, man.
times cameras picked up Peyton just screaming at him against
Detroit.
Detroit. That was bad, but there was also against the Jets, right? That was another one
Yeah,
where
Sean
one went
Payton's
off.
an arrogant jerk. I will say it. He's a very arrogant jerk. He will not point the blame at himself. He'll always point the blame
Yeah.
at somebody else.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think he's a pretty darn good football coach, and he
Mhm.
will be in Denver longer than Russell Wilson will be. So.
I agree. Yeah.
Yep, but I'm still devastated over it. I did not watch football because of it yesterday. Couldn't do it.
My first loser, AFC South. Colts lose, Texans lose, Jaguars are imploding. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is Gen Z's Sam Bradford. I saw that on Twitter, and I thought that was a pretty good comparison. He's the most overrated quarterback in football, in my opinion. Yet the media is not on him at all. They don't even talk about him. But he has not played good
Jacksonville
football.
never gets talked about.
That is
Ever.
fair. But I just don't think Trevor's that good. I think he's okay, but
it was bad for the AFC South. And I'll put the Colts as my number 2 loser. I'll take them out of the AFC South. They got smacked in Atlanta. I mean, I know they're playing with a very broken roster. I get it, but I don't know. I mean, they get the Raiders at home, then the Texans at home, but I don't know. I'm not as confident in this Colts team I was a week ago.
Kansas City Chiefs, they're losing home games now to the under 500 Raiders on Christmas Day. Their offense is not that good. And people are making so many excuses for Pat Mahomes. But you see what Tom Brady was throwing to some of these years. Peyton Manning even throwing. I mean, Patrick, you got to make your teammates better, and he doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. He was been helped by an elite Travis Kelce in his day, a Tyreek Hill. He hasn't been the same since, honestly.
They get help from officiating, in my opinion, too.
And now he's whining and yelling at his teammates, coaching staff, officials. He's become the most entitled, arrogant, unlikable quarterback in the NFL. And this includes an NFL that Aaron Rodgers still plays in. And here we are. Patrick Mahomes is my least favorite quarterback now. And I used to like the guy, honestly. But his little hissy fit, childlike temper tantrum he threw after they lost to the Bills made me just despise the guy. So.
Join the club.
Yeah.
But that's mainly because he's been killing my team for years. So
sorry.
Yep, you're fine. My last loser would be the San Francisco 49ers. I know they lost a good Baltimore Ravens team, but you're at home. You're deemed the best team of football, and you got thrashed.
Yeah.
To the point where you might end up losing your number 1 seed in the NFC. Yeah. So,
and my final loser is Brock Purdy's MVP chances, because I think he was the leader in the clubhouse heading into last night, and now he's not even going to be in that top 5. Which it changes week to week. So, right. But yeah, he did not help himself at all last night.
No, he did not. Yeah. No, he did not. Time to pick some games for week 17. I don't know. I've been so bad the last few weeks at tracking who won.
I am on an absolute tear, and I have clinched the season series.
I figured that.
I am 11-5 heading into this week, so it's
oh my gosh.
It's been
wow,
pretty much over for a while now.
Jeez, ow! I did not realize it was that bad. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, but fantastic Thursday nighter here where we get to watch the Trevor Siemian-led New York Jets
T-Money Wiggle
Cleveland Browns.
I got the Brownies for 16.
I have the Browns for 10. You're a little more confident than I am. Maybe, Joe Flacco revenge game there against his former team. Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys.
Should be a good one. You got to think the Cowboys are desperate for a win, right? And they're at home.
Yeah. And Lions Cowboys, just clinched, so.
I like Cowboys, but only for 2.
I have the Cowboys for 3. Yeah, I don't see Dallas. Dallas doesn't lose at home, really, anyway. But especially coming off 2 losses. And Lions might be a little.
They can get that 1 seed, though.
They can, but they might be still feeling themselves a little bit after clinching the North clinching the division title for the first time since '93. Dallas for 3. New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills.
I know the Patriots won a game and actually hurt their draft stock, falling 2-4 as of right now. But the Bills are looking back. I mean, they didn't look great against the Chargers, but they got the win. They're on a hot streak. Bills at home. Bills for 15.
I have the Bills for 16. I fear the Bills more than I do the Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, really any other team in the
I think a
AFC.
lot of people would say that.
So they're hot right now, and they have the track record the past couple years of being really good. So yeah, Bills for 16. Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. Bears are playing
Yeah.
some good football.
Yeah, they are. Falcons got it done when they needed to against Colts. Bears are playing some good football, even though Fields didn't do anything second half. But I like the Bears at home for 3.
I have the Bears at home as well. I have them for 4. If I were to create a list of who I think are the best coaches in the NFL, starting from 1 to 32, my 32nd ranked coach would be Arthur Smith.
Oh, Arthur Smith.
Yeah, not Eberflus. It'd be Arthur
Yeah.
Smith. I think he is complete garbage. Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts. Vegas could still win the West.
Yeah, that the West could come. I mean, if the Chiefs somehow stumble, the West could come down to the Raiders Broncos last week. A lot would have to happen, but I think it's a coin flip game. But I'm taking the Colts at home for 1.
I'm taking the Raiders for 5. O'Connell did not complete a single pass after the first quarter yesterday, and one in Kansas City. The thing that's underrated about this Vegas team is they have one of the best pass defenses in the league, which for years their defense has been atrocious. But Vegas, I think Antonio Pierce should have done enough to keep his job.
Well, you would think, but the Davis doesn't always think that way.
Yeah, I saw a tweet something like, well, he's good enough to keep his job until Mark figures out he can get Lincoln Riley for $200 million.
100% accurate.
Vegas for 5.
Or Harbaugh.
Or Harbaugh, yeah. Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants. Tommy Cutlett's benched.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor's probably got the job. I don't think it matters. Nah. I like the way the Rams are playing. Rams for 9.
I have the Rams for 9 as well. Yeah, I think they get that last spot there in the NFC. Arizona Cardinals at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Birds against birds. Give me the Eagles for 14.
I have the Eagles for 15. Eagles have been thoroughly unimpressive here the past 3 or 4 weeks. Even in a win yesterday, they weren't all that impressive. New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We were talking the Bucs up big time earlier. I like them. They're hot. They're having fun. Bucs for 11.
I have the Bucs for 8. Yeah, I think they take care of business, and I think they clinch the South this week. I'm assuming they can. But San Francisco 49ers at the Washington Commanders. I think Ron Rivera has 2 games left in him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't see him ever being head coach probably again.
Yeah. He is this era's Jeff Fisher.
That's a good one. Yeah, both got the 1 Super Bowl and lost. That's a good one. San Francisco bounces back on the road, 13 points. Sam Howell's garbage. They should just play Jacoby Brissett the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, Brissett's better, in my opinion.
He is.
Yeah, give me the Niners for 14. Carolina Panthers at the reeling Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're reeling. They still find a way to win at home. I see they did sign Matt Barkley, though, for insurance today, just for the quarterback room. But whether it be Lawrence Beathard or somehow Barkley, I think they get it done over Carolina at home for 10.
Yeah, I have Jacksonville for 11. Yeah, I mean, Lawrence has dealt with the head injury, but now he has a shoulder injury. Again, he had a shoulder injury last year, too, that he fought through. But yeah, Jacksonville for 11. Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. Arguably the game of the week, and it's 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, it's a 1 o'clocker. This is a tough place to play for the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. They don't usually play well there. Am I mistaken on that?
Tua did throw 6 touchdowns and win there last year.
Well, historically, before that? Or no?
Am
I just... Okay,
they're garbage there. Yeah.
All right. So I wasn't too far off, but Ravens are playing good. Lamar's playing MVP style football. Ravens for 4.
Yeah, it's a place where they got very lucky last year because they got down 21 and came back in the fourth quarter and won. But usually it's like a 38-6, 41-10 sort of shellacking. This Dolphins team's different. But this will be the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week. I do think Baltimore is going to win, and I'm not even just doing that for reverse psychology. Although if it works, it'd be great. But I think Baltimore's a little better. It's supposed to be decent weather. I'm a little nervous it's going to rain because I mean, seems like Baltimore should be good in the rain. Although they did lose a rain game to the Colts at home earlier in the year. But give me Baltimore.
Didn't they lose them to the Browns too?
They did as well at home. So they've been known to slip up at home, and hopefully they're coming off this high of blowing out the best team in the NFCs, and they come out a little flat. But give me Baltimore for 2. I think I'm hoping Dolphins don't get embarrassed. I'm just glad. Honestly, I had talked myself into the Dolphins losing out and missing the playoffs altogether coming into that Jets game last week, and even coming into this Cowboy game. So I'm very happy they're in the weights.
You
off
and
my
Frank
plate.
Fleming need to watch Dolphin games together.
I could not stand to be in the same room as that guy,
I'm
especially
surprised
during
nobody's
Dolphin games.
punched him.
I
But
know. Baltimore for 2. Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans.
these teams that don't like each other for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Texans eked out a win in Tennessee a few weeks ago against someone they probably shouldn't have. I think Stroud's going to be back this week. Give me the Texans for 5.
I have the Texans for 7. For exactly that reason, Stroud's going to be likely back. Even if he's not back, I think Case Keenum is either back up or
Yeah. Well,
and
they
then
played
Davis
both of them.
Mills.
They played Mills. They played
Yeah.
both of them the other day.
Keenum was horrendous the other day, and Mills came in. But yeah, Houston for 7. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Seattle Seahawks.
Both teams fighting for their playoff lives. Seattle gets impressive Monday night win with Drew Lock, and then they turn around and Geno gets impressive win as far as how it happened on that last minute drive against Tennessee. Give me Seattle for 7.
I have the Seahawks for 13. I haven't bought this Steelers team all year. I hope they get in, and if the Dolphins get the 2 seed, and I hope Dolphins play them in that 2-7 game, that'd be a 45-point whooping, hopefully.
Yeah,
But,
don't drink yourself, man.
I know. I know. Seahawks for 13. Chargers at Broncos.
Yeah, I'm not even excited for this one like I would have been if the Broncos got a win, but I don't know where the Broncos' heads are at going to this game. I still think they'll get the win. The Chargers just aren't very good, and I think the Chargers play off emotion. The other day, playing for their interim head coach. Give me the Broncos for 8.
I have the Broncos for 6. Yeah, they should be able to get it done at home, you'd think.
But at home, they've lost to the Raiders, Commanders, Jets, and Patriots. That's how you miss the playoffs.
That's exactly how you miss the playoffs. And some of those it's not an excuse, but three of those games were early. This one was completely inexcusable.
It was just awful.
So yeah, Denver for 6. Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll be rooting hard for the Bengals, but Chiefs for 12.
I have the Chiefs for 12 as well. I think the lights kind of went out on Cincinnati's hopes there against Pittsburgh on Saturday. Final one here, the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't know why, because I haven't been impressed with them lately, but I'm taking the Vikings for 6, but I don't know why. I think Packers are better.
TJ Hawkinson out for the year with an ACL injury, MCL as well. Nick Mullins, they had a chance to come down and take the lead, win the game, and Nick Mullins threw the quackiest duck I've ever seen a quarterback throw. But Justin Jefferson's back. Green Bay got real lucky against Carolina. Their defensive coordinator likely going to get fired there. I forget what his name is. Joe Barry, I think his name is. But Jordan Love's played some good football, and I'm taking the Packers for 1.
Right.
So yeah, J-Man's Book Bridges Week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watchering for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. You can contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watchering@infb.com.
Hit me with that birdie or bogey, J-Man.
Last birdie bogey of the year. Mike Evans became the 5th player ever to have 5 seasons of 12 receiving touchdowns or more. Can you name the other 4 wide receivers to have done it?
Randy Moss?
Randy Moss is one of them.
Terrell Owens?
Terrell Owens is also one of them.
It was 5 seasons of 12 or more, right?
Mm-hmm. 2 more to go. I'll even give you a par already.
I don't think this guy did it, but if he is and I don't say him, then I'm going to kick myself. Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice is one of them.
See, right. I would have kicked myself.
Yeah.
All right, one more. I got 2 names in the holster. Well, let's throw DeAndre Hopkins out there.
You want another guess?
Yeah. How about Andre Johnson?
Neither have done
Okay.
it. Marvin Harrison.
Oh, my God.
Final guy. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
God dang.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good company Mike Evans has there.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Marvin.
Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show. Last episode of 2023 already. Have a fantastic week. Happy New Year. We'll be back at it. I assume, are we going to do it Monday or Tuesday next week?
We'll be here Monday if it's good by you.
Good by me. Got nothing going on.
See you in 2024. Celebrate safely.